This video will demonstrate what to expect when connecting the Renesas Flash Programmer with RA devices. You can connect the Renesas Flash Programmer with RA devices via the E2 emulator, E2 emulator Lite, J-Link debug probe, serial interface, or USB interface. Moreover, the connection interface of each emulator supports UART communication and SWD communication. Here is an overview of this video. First, we will introduce the procedures for connecting and disconnecting the host PC and RA devices with an emulator. Next, we will provide details on connecting the MD pin. Finally, we will present a guide to common errors. First, we will present the procedure for connecting the host PC to the RA device using an emulator. Connect the emulator's user interface cable to the target board that houses the RA device, ensuring the connector is oriented correctly. Connect the emulator to the host PC with a USB cable. Power on the target board. To disconnect the device, reverse the steps of the connection procedure. When disconnecting the user interface cable from the target board, grasp both ends of the connector and gently pull it out as demonstrated in the video. Next, we will highlight some important considerations for connecting the MD pin. The MD pin controls the operating mode of the RA device during startup. When using UART or USB communication, set the MD pin to low for boot mode startup. For SWD communication, set the MD pin to high to activate single chip mode or SWD boot mode. The following are connection examples for each communication method when connecting the Renesas Flash Programmer and RA device with the E2 emulator or E2 emulator Lite. Here is a recommended setup for the UART communication method. For RA devices where connecting the MD pin is recommended, connect the MD pin to the emulator's MD pin. If you cannot connect the MD pin to the emulator, modify the pin so that the MD pin is set to low on your system. Here is a recommended setup for the SWD communication method. For SWD connection only, the MD pin does not need to be connected. Here is a recommended setup for using both UART and SWD communication methods. For RA devices where connecting the MD pin is recommended, connect the MD pin to SWCLK/MD on the emulator. If you cannot connect the MD pin to the emulator, modify the pin so that the MD pin is set to low on your system. Finally, we will present a guide to common errors. The main errors encountered when connecting devices with the Renesas Flash Programmer are listed on the product web page. When an error occurs, you can directly refer to the details by clicking on the link output by the Renesas Flash Programmer. Here is an example from the error guide for the error E30000105. The device is not responding. Please consult this guide to understand the cause of the error and how to resolve it. When connecting the Renesas Flash Programmer and RA devices with the J-Link debug probe, please refer to this web page for information on compatible J-Link units, recommended connection setups, and safety precautions. For details on recommended connection examples for the E2 emulator and E2 emulator Lite, please refer to the E2 emulator, E2 emulator Lite additional document for user's manual, notes on connection of RA devices. For additional information about the Renesas Flash Programmer, visit renesas.com/RFP.